Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to John Smith Reviews. This week we are doing Wish World.
For those who don't know, it's the Doctor Who Unleashed joke. It's what
that was so good.
It's what they called the Doctor Who Unleashed this week, the John Smith Unleash.
Yeah, I'll put it up in a second, but that was so good. Well played, Unleashed. Well played. But yes, the first part of the finale, two-part finale, Wish World. As we discuss Wish World with me, I'm joined by two co-hosts because unfortunately Kat could not make it because of Memorial Day weekend obligations. AKA a holiday. A weekend holiday. And I hope she's having a nice time there. Anyway, to my virtual left, come with them and you'll be in the world of pure reflection. It's Freezing Inferno.
This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. So I just have one question. How did I get here?
Also, would have been a very good intro.
Yes.
But I think I've used that one before. It's not their beautiful house, their beautiful wife.
You find yourself living in the shotgun shop. Okay, before I quote the entire song, you introduce the other person.
I certainly will. Because our other person is none other than, well, we can put that G back in the bottle, but why would we? Because it's Kuchiri.
I was half expecting Dugga Doo, Dugga Doo, Dugga Doo.
No. That earworm can burn. That can burn. Although I do want him to release that.
You don't like a Murray Gold song?
I do want him to release that just so they have to announce that on the charts and be confused.
Dugga Doo has been released before the Series 10 soundtrack.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh.
Thank you, Audrey.
Dugga Doo has been released before GTA 6.
I must admit, I do like the Dugga Doo memes that have been going around.
Oh, the Dugga Doo memes are good. The Power of 3 one was...
That's the best one, yeah. It had me look up what the actual song was it was replacing. It was the Chicken Dance.
What? That's forgetting the specifics of a Chibnall episode? No.
You know what the Chicken Dance is, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But they replaced that with Dugga Doo.
Dugga Doo.
And then there was Dugga Doo for the giggle, and the toy maker do Spice Up Your Life, but it's Dugga Doo.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
I should point out that last week it was the Eurovision parody episode, and we didn't talk about the music very much.
No, there wasn't much music other than...
There wasn't much, exactly. That was the whole point.
We were far too busy talking about geopolitical conflicts.
If you didn't like that, sorry, we kind of have to do it again.
Well, to a lesser degree. Then.
I do love how Jessie Ginger decided to do her review on it and record the whole review without bringing up the conflict, and then had to edit in herself later on, being like, "Oh, so I guess apparently this is a thing. Let me talk about it. I guess." Okay.
So again, proving our point that it wasn't intended to be an allegory for that conflict.
Well,
but we're not talking about Ilsa songs because that's gone. So was my pronunciation of the episode because that was terrible. Interstellar Song Contest.
Reality as we enter the Wish World.
Oh, you said the Witch World.
After 30 years, I'm free. Time to conquer Earth.
Yeah, absolutely wild opening scene here with the Rani just kidnapping a baby and just completely messing up a family in Bavaria in 1865.
This is okay. So the whole thing people were saying is, oh, the Rani's back. I sure hope that they treat her as her original concept, an amoral scientist. Open episode 1. I cast a spell on thee. I turn your children into mallards.
I think she was using science. It just looked like magic to the people of Bavaria.
Yeah. Who fucking knows with this era anymore?
Well, you gotta understand, it wasn't her that was turning the family into all that stuff. It was the
baby.
Yeah, the baby.
Yeah,
the baby.
Yeah, that works.
I don't have time to pull it up, but insert Samus Aran, the baby.
No, we're not doing that.
Future Rain, baby job.
No. Veto.
Fucking. That is.
I refuse. Also, on the subject of that particular game, the teenage Ridley fight is hilarious. And Proton John doing the Teenage Weekly fight is even more hilarious.
Proton Claire.
Because,
well, charging Claire.
They're still going by Proton John, aren't they?
Well, they kind of have to because that's what brings
in. Okay, but Proton John / charging Claire. There you go. While she's fighting the Teenage Ripley, she's just going, "This is so stupid" the entire time.
Remember that time
she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
We did 15 years ago. We did a Metroid podcast.
Hey, I will still defend Other End. Just saying.
I didn't say that. I said that particular fight was stupid, and it is.
I will not, but we don't. But that's.
So this family that the Rani absolutely wrecks here is the Zufal family. Zufal is German for coincidence.
Oh my God. Synchronicity.
So please tell me we're not going back to the goblins.
Well, she's taking a baby as well. That's what the goblins. And also, they invoke my favorite Iron Maiden album, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Somebody's read Terry Pratchett's disc, well.
I
know it's Ape Son of an Ape Son, but it's the same idea.
Yes,
And there was an unexpected hitch during this scene because never worked with children and animals.
Oh God!
So the ducks didn't behave themselves very well. Russell T Davies refused to be on the set that day. And then the horse that the Rani rides into the to get to the cabin stopped the show unexpectedly when it couldn't stop urinating.
Nah.
The horse had a weak bladder, as proven on Doctor Who Unleashed. I just cracked everybody up. It was like, we'll go for a take. What's that sound? Oh my God.
There's a headline for people who didn't like the episode. Wish World. It's horse piss.
Yeah. I did like the episode. Spoilers for our overall thoughts, but
I mean, it's a nice episode, but I have a thought.
It has its problems. I will get to those.
Here's the thing, and no, don't put up Addams Family or Ben Grimm or any other fucking things. The thing about this episode is it's an RTD finale, and we've been in this sort of mode before. Last year with the Legend of Ruby Sunday, where people are saying the same thing. Oh, this is just sitting around for 45 minutes waiting for the big reveal, and then it's a big trailer for next week, which I've had that complaint about. Well, I thought that of Legend of Ruby Sunday. I thought that of a Chibnall Cyberman story before Timeless Childs, but I don't feel it here. And it's because we have this whole other thing to focus on, which is how fucked up this alternate timeline is.
Yeah, so we've got the Doctor is not in this alternate timeline. We've got John Smith, his wife Belinda, and his daughter Poppy. What?
Well.
So Poppy showing up in Storing the Engine wasn't just a random thing. It wasn't just the stories bleeding into the real world. It was to foreshadow this.
It was the episodes bleeding into each other. Woo.
Wish World bleeding into the real world. Yeah, I could buy that. Remains to be seen if Poppy here is actually real or not. I mean, the Doctor says that she is at the end.
I mean, RTD like a year ago said Space Babies was going to be important.
Oh my God!
Just saying, everything was like the spoiler alert. A certain scene in this episode was filmed during season 1.
It was, yes, and we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, I will say, or should I say, are we saving that for the end? No, I'm babbling incoherently as I read the Google Docie, but I'll just say it now. Hey, Rain. So the Poppy is the Doctor's daughter, right?
But then what's Jenny?
No, don't worry about that.
So yes.
Okay. So if Poppy had a child, what would that be?
Oh no, you think she's Susan's mother?
Who showed up in the last 2 episodes on TV screens and in flashbacks?
You think she's Susan's mother?
That theory has been floating around.
How does that even work though? Because How does that even work?
Rain, do I need to tell you how the birds and the bees work?
No, I don't mean like that. I mean,
Like what?
he never had a child with Belinda, but
Do you remember? There's a line somewhere in season 1 where I don't know when it is, but
oh my god, I'm not your father, and I wish I was. No.
And the whole thing where I think somewhere he said that his grandchild could be in the future.
Yeah, no, Susan just showed up and said that she was his granddaughter.
So,
oh my god,
I don't know if RTD is trying to close the circle here or not, and it's he's playing with fire here, in my opinion. But
he is playing with fire because, and I wasn't going to mention Susan because she's in it for about 2 seconds. She just appears on the TV. It's a tease for next week, surely.
Maybe, who knows?
I've heard all sorts of rumors that suggestions that she might regenerate at the end of the episode. And that's why she's calling out to her grandfather because he wants to she wants to see him one last time.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know where she fits into this. I'm not sure I want to know where she fits into this.
Well, time will tell.
I'm looking forward to next week, but I'm also kind of nervous. But we have this this very traditional 1950s style. Well, it's kind of like WandaVision, isn't it? The start of WandaVision.
Yes, it definitely has that same vibe. Comparing them is tricky because the WandaVision world had a very distinct reason it exists, whereas this, the flimsiness of it is the point, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, this is as Russell T Davies said on Behind the Scenes, this is a partially invented, partially remembered world from Conrad.
Considering Conrad is trying to do what most neo-fascist commentators want and bring the world back to the 1950s. Well, women didn't have a voice, black people didn't have rights.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the ramifications of Conrad's wish world are what make the episode interesting for me, and more than just, okay, we're gonna sit around here and wait and see and tease exciting things for next week.
It's a very interesting idea. I feel like there should have been a full episode.
Oh, well, you mean a standalone episode?
I mean, like, we should have had part 1. It should have like 3 episodes. So part 1 is just Conrad's crazy conservative hell world, and then it falls apart to bring to Reality War Part 1, Reality War Part 2. Because there's so much to actually finish up here in 66 minutes. They're never going to do it all, surely.
Some is probably going to be left for Series 3, Season 3.
I swear, if the and we'll get to them later.
Rogue is definitely not going to be in next week's episode. They only, that's the reason why they filmed the thing the way they did.
I have a theory about that Rogue scene, but we'll get to that in a few minutes.
A game theory.
No, just a theory.
It'll be more of a film theory.
Yeah, but before we get to all that, I want to talk about the Bone Palace set. Oh my god,
It's lit. Love it.
This was a fully sculpted set too. Everything on the set was sculpted.
It's good shit.
The clock, the bones.
It's crazy how they fit on the moon.
God damn it. Oh, I got that, Kuchiri. God damn it.
Finster had a nice little room too. It was all good. No.
I love the seeker things that are just like saying 99.1, 99.2. Like they're just
they're saying the out of 10 if someone's having doubts.
Yes.
7, 9, 9, 9, 7, 1, 5, 5, 5, 7, 9. You know.
Yes. Amazing design on these things.
They're nightmare fuel. You could use them in a horror episode.
The closest we're going to get to the fish people, I think, in this era.
Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Oh, wait, no. Who am I kidding? There's an entire spin-off coming. No, never mind.
God, fuck.
That spin-off is going to be just fine. You're overreacting.
No. But you understand.
Yeah, I understand because it's got literal name you don't like in the title.
And it's a Pete McTeague thing. There is no way he's doing anything other than giving us leftovers every goddamn story with those things ever made.
It's possible.
It's
but an amazing set. One thing I didn't like very much, although it looks like that's going to be rectified in the second part, is the bone beasts do nothing.
No, I have a read on the bone on these fucking things, and it's not a plot reason. It feels kind of like I'm going off vibes here, but Conrad's whole world is rolling back the clock, to a simpler time. This is the way things used to be, and they feel like a representation of that. He's literally fossilized culture, and so here's a bunch of fucking bone dragons.
Okay, I'll buy that interpretation. But what was their actual role to play? Did they kill people that didn't doubt enough? Did they kill people that doubted too much?
They probably brainwashed them. They probably took him to Conrad, and he wished for them not to have doubts.
We saw they were invisible to people, didn't we? And
the bone dragons, they explained that they were creatures that were lost.
Right. Oh, yeah, foreshadowing the one who was lost. Yes, okay.
They're very visible, though, because the Doctor and John Smith and Mel look up and like, it's the most beautiful sight we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's visible there, and when he's going into work, it's not visible. Or Ruby can't see them, or something, but...
No. So they don't destroy buildings. If they could connect with something that's not the ground, that's solid, it goes through them.
Fair enough. These things I'm pretty sure, be back in. I know 1/6 into the floor and is gone, but at the end of the episode. But I'm pretty sure the Bone Beast will return. Hopefully, they'll have something to actually do. Even if just defending the Rani's Bone Palace.
They're cool though.
They're very cool. What's not cool? Unit now sells insurance.
So, as someone who used to be a certified insurance agent, you want to know what's funny about this?
Please do tell.
You buy insurance when you have doubt.
Yeah? You do?
What?
And
part of Conrad's world doesn't make sense?
But what's also funny is an insurance agent's duty is to explain the importance of insurance while giving doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're getting this loan. What is going to happen if you slip and break an arm? Who's going to cover the payments while you're not working? You're only making 60% of your income.
As the Rani herself says, this world is full of contradictions and doesn't make any sense.
You're
by design.
You're buying this vehicle. Here, how about some joint credit life? If your spouse passes away, the car will be paid off. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And this is when we really get like one of the most thorny implications of just how fucked up things are. The scene with the doc. I'm just going to call him the Doctor. It's Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and,
Doctor Who and Colonel Ibrahim. He's not a colonel at the moment.
Oh, you should ask her, Kate. Oh, I don't know. She'd like me. Oh, she'll love you. You're a beautiful man. What the fuck did you say? I'm a beautiful man. You're another man. You can't be saying that. This is fucking gay.
Yeah, slightly thorny, but not just slightly thorny. Very thorny. But it plays into Conrad's prejudices,
which I really fucking wish Lucky Day nailed down his politics a little more and showed what a shitty right winger he was. Instead, McTeague focus. It's less on I don't fucking like gay people, and it's like my biggest problem is I think the Brigadier smells, and it's supposed to offensive. I watch the Three Doctors all the time.
The thing I hate saying that now. Thanks. We all assumed he was extremely right wing.
We did.
That was our assumption of Conrad way back when.
So, and we were right.
And we were right. Correct.
I hate the fact that we were right, but we were right. And then where do we go to? Oh yeah. So one of the reasons why Unit is now selling insurance that they are the Unified National Insurance Team.
Cute.
is because it's Conrad's personal revenge on them. And he does this a couple of times. So Unit made him look like an absolute chump and cost him his arm. So he now has Kate leading an insurance team that does nothing. They just do nothing. They wish people happy morning, and that's about it.
Rain, you need to say your thing, which was like, I went, oh my god, that's a
you said this was genius shit. So speaking of personal revenge, do you remember how in Lucky Day, Conrad sort of insinuates that Shirley is scamming for benefits because she's in a wheelchair? In this episode, she's begging for money.
Christ almighty.
Yeah. In Conrad's reality, he's turned that accusation into the reality of she's now begging for money and has no job. Good God.
This is the thing with the episode where I'm of two minds. Like, on the one hand, I don't want this to be so fucked up and needlessly vindictive and cruel. But on the other hand, I kind of want him to go further. So Ruby is she's fairly normal as well as things considered. I mean, sure, she has her adopted mother has once again betrayed her in an alternate timeline. If I had a nickel,
what is going on with that?
But honestly, I feel like he would have, or I don't want to say should have, because I'm not saying like, oh, fucking Ruby Sunday, she should be put through the fucking ringer or nothing. But I feel like Conrad would have been more vindictive to Ruby than
I think it's just that she's nothing to him.
No, I have a read. I have a headcanon. That last line she says to him, "Go to hell." I can imagine a petty little shit like Conrad seething over that. Ooh, I'm Conrad Clark. I'm now the protagonist of reality. How dare a fucking woman tell me to go to hell? I'll show her. I'll show all of them. I can buy that level of vindictive pettiness from Conrad Clark.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from that. Mm-hmm. We also found out that because of what happened with 73 Yards, Ruby's just kind of permanently now sort of aware of alternate realities. I'll buy it.
Magic, fae, bullshit, whatever the hell happened.
Yeah, the Doctor did a very bad thing in Wild Blue Yonder.
Yes.
A very bad thing.
He did a whoopsie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ruby, once again, abandoned and betrayed by those she loves, her worst fears may manifest. So maybe this is Conrad's revenge. But
maybe that's part of his revenge, yeah.
I feel like a petty little shit like Godfather. But that's
completely unintentional. But the fact that we've got the old companion getting the police called on her by the new companion.
Oh God.
There is so much to this. This is what I'm saying. We needed more of this.
Remember when we all thought that it was going to be 3 of them in the TARDIS at some point in time?
Well, that might be next week.
Well, we'll see.
Well, that might be Series 3. Or Series 3 might not happen.
It's so, also, while we're talking about that, it's so fucking sick nasty that Belinda's like, I'm sorry, I had to give you up to the doubt police. I had to have you arrested for crimes. I couldn't have doubt in this house with the baby.
Why are you putting handcuffs on me?
You have to go to the gulag forever now, John. You have to go to the gulag and be never seen again, John. I had to do it for the baby. Wait, why are you arresting me? Why are the leopards eating my face? No!
Yeah. Can we also point out that when she runs out of the house screaming, she runs into the Bavarian forest?
Oh, my God.
It's the same forest.
Also, mood.
I don't think it's meant to be like she suddenly ends up in Bavaria. Maybe it is, but maybe Conrad's imagination is just like, London and also Germany. We don't actually know how deep Conrad's wish world goes.
I mean, you could headcanon that, or it could be just the fact that they don't have that many places to.
Well, exactly, because Bavaria was a forest in Wales. So there you go.
Bavaria was the forest in the night.
A forest in Wales with a very incontinent horse.
Horse pissing. Oh, God.
Just the fact it cracked the crew up as well is just makes that even better. Anyway, you actually see them laughing.
Anyway, you want the darkest fucking headcanon about Wish World?
Oh, the fact that trans people don't exist in it?
Yeah. This is a thing that this is a train of thought I hit that took me to a real fucked up place. So there's this whole thing with Shirley and this camp of people who have been basically forgotten by Conrad society because he's a shithead and doesn't have empathy for marginalized people. So you've got blind people, you've got deaf people, you've got people who need wheelchairs.
There was one drag queen, I think.
Well, I spoke. I don't know. I haven't gone back and looked at every extra.
I haven't either, but somebody said there was one drag queen. Maybe they were mistaken, maybe they were not. But I didn't see a single trans person.
Yeah. So I was thinking as I was watching this, you know what would have been an extra sick, nasty gut punch if you had Rose Noble down here with everyone else. You know, she too has been forgotten because she's trans and the conservatives don't have empathy for the marginalized. But she's not in here. And, you know, maybe they didn't want to include her. Maybe Yasmin Finney was busy. But then that got me thinking, oh, there are trans people in here. And I suppose someone else in discussion offered a horrifying fucking alternative. Maybe Conrad didn't accidentally forget about the trans people because he didn't consider them with his wish. Maybe he was thinking of them when he made the wish because he's a conservative shithead. Part of his wish could have been to get rid of the trans people, to just erase them from his world.
Also, the 1950s aesthetic thing, there weren't really openly trans people in 1950s.
There was a lot of open trans people. It's just something that wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean by open, yeah. But yeah.
But
I mean,
what actually probably happens is all the trans people aren't transitioning. So Yasmin is still dead name.
Oh, hang on. I just had a brainstorm. What is being trans if not doubting your birth gender?
Yeah.
Oh,
therefore there could be no room for that in this society.
Oh my fucking god!
That's horrifying.
And to really hammer the fucking knife home. You know, when Conrad is reading his happy little story about Doctor Who's adventures.
Oh, I was going to say this earlier, but yes.
The cover of the book. The goddamn cover is, of course, a reference to Harry Potter's book.
They made 6 of these things.
And I will not go in depth, but she has made perfectly clear her opinion on trans people.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, also the book's written by I.M. Foreman. Nice touch.
That's very cute, yes. But that just adds another quiver in the arrow to this theory about just how fucking far the implications of this conservative shithead becoming protagonist of reality have, and it's fucked up. God,
it is very messed up. You brought them up, so we have this camp of the dispossessed.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of interesting behind the scenes bits. So they had a disability coordinator on the set to sort of make sure that, you know, firstly that the supporting artists could get around the set. So, like, if you need a ramp, do you need things because you're visually impaired or you're deaf? She was there to facilitate that, and that's why all the tents are different colors.
Oh,
because if you're visually impaired, you need to make sure you get to your tent.
Yeah.
So if they're all black or they're all blue or whatever, you wouldn't get to your tent.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, some of the extras that were in this scene were interesting. One was a member of the crew who is also disabled. And made a great joke. He said, "Disabled in camp, I'm there." Or disabled camp, I'm there. Another member of the supporting artist team is Doctor Who YouTuber Ferris.
Well, there you go.
Who we sort of indirectly mentioned last week as well.
Well, hey, RTD. We're talking nice about your show. Where's my camera? You can have me looking in a mirror, and I can be like, ooh, look at this lovely mirror. Hey,
I think I'd have to move to Wales to get this cameo, but actually no, because I don't think Ferris is based in Wales. I think they may have been invited or whatever, but yeah.
A triptych Cardiff. What could it take?
A nice little cameo, and not the first time that a Doctor Who prominent member of the fan community has appeared in an episode as an extra.
What's the other one?
I forget her name, but she's Norwegian. She did work for the Doctor Who Museum. It's Caroline somebody. It might be Caroline Lee. And then I think she's now an air stewardess.
Oh my!
But
was
she showed up in the pilot. She's part of the students at the pilot.
Okay.
Because they just filmed at a real university.
Right. That's nice.
But it still counts. It still counts.
That counts. That counts. Woo. Okay. But yeah, this counted as now. This has also come under criticism by people, and for now we can agree, but we can hope that they don't actually do anything past this point. Ruby and Shirley, they're doing their little covert mission. They're like, okay, we're under the Bone Palace, and now I have this mysterious thing from the old universe called an E-pad that I can use. And then they don't really do anything. They just sit up and watch as the world fucking ends. But hopefully they have some more agency in part 2 of this.
It is Caroline Lee, by the way. That's a prominent member of the fan community.
Okay.
I mean, it's also on R2D part 1. Of course, they're going to have a bunch to do in part 2.
Yeah, well, there is the worry that we're going to get overstuffed with the lore, considering.
I think overstuffing is just going to happen. I think we just have to accept it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Not in that sense, God. No.
Overstuffing, huh?
Shut up. Shut up. I mean that the finale is going to be overly stuffed. Shut up, Ed.
Ed.
But not Ed.
Yeah, you defeated Ed.
You got Ed executed on off camera. Yes, I watched it. Okay.
In my opinion,
of course I watched it.
In my opinion, it was the best out of the 12 episodes. Just saying.
I mean, you would say that, but also you were probably right.
I wonder which episode is the best. Oh, it just happens to be the one I'm in.
It might just be biased. Like if I said that the best episode of 2018 Question Time was the one I appeared in the audience of, that's biased as well.
Well, you also try and make sure no one ever sees that episode. So,
oh no, I'm never allowed to live that down by my friends. That genie's out the bottle too.
Okay, Mr. Snowflake Man.
I didn't know he was going to make that joke, I swear.
He's a right-winger. Of course he's going to make a joke about snowflakes.
Why, though? Anyway. Then we get to the cameo that Kuchiri talks about.
It's cameo.
Jonathan Groff.
Who took me a good 20 seconds to remember who the fuck this was.
I heard his voice without looking at the screen, and I thought it was John Barrowman again. I was like, no, good God.
Oh my God.
But no, this is Rogue. Rogue is back from disappearing into what he calls the Hell World at the end of his episode.
He's been stuck in the Hell dimension.
Well, has he, though? Because I've got a take on this.
Yeah, he's got a take.
I know that the whole point of this is, to set up to further the queer romance between the Doctor and Rogue, and it kind of puts the first crack in the Wish world.
Which that's a beautiful thing in its own right. That Conrad's heteronormative horse shit.
But once you know that the Rani wants the world to crack and wants Doctor Who to doubt, right?
Yeah.
And it's Rogue that specifically gets him to start doubting by saying tables don't do that. What if this isn't Rogue? What if this is actually part of the trap? Constructed from, I don't know, Ruby's memories of Rogue, because she did meet him.
Who knows? Who knows?
We might find out. Now, the interesting thing was how they filmed this. Because he filmed this during Rogue.
Mm-hmm. Planning ahead, baby.
Just standing in front of a green screen. And what was amazing was during the cast read-through for Wish World, they didn't know that he was going to be in it.
God.
It just said a man appears on the TV screen. And then RTD points to a TV screen in the rehearsal studio, and there's Jonathan Groff on a green screen filming his lines, and Millie Gibson's reaction is amazing.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, Jonathan also told Gatwa, yeah, no, we finished filming. They asked me to stay for another 2 hours, and I had to do this monologue about tables. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and Gatwa didn't realise that this is what it was about. Because he also had the reaction, not to the level of of Millie Gibson, who basically disassociated from life for 20 seconds, but no, her reaction was really quite adorable. It's all on the behind the scenes or Unleashed, one of the two. The behind the scenes stuff is interesting, guys. You should really watch it.
I watch it.
I don't mean you two. I mean people listening to this. People watching this. I try and bring up the behind the scenes whenever I can. Sometimes I forget, but it was important here to do it. But yeah, cameo for Rogue, very brief cameo for Susan. That means absolutely nothing by itself.
They had the footage of her. They wanted to use it. That's all.
She appears on a TV screen. God, where have I heard that before?
Oh goodness,
where have I seen that before?
I wonder.
It's a mystery to everybody. But we have our villains. Well, we have most of our villains established in this first part. We've got Conrad and the two Ranis. Now, Russell T Davies was hinting at an unholy trinity before this episode.
Is that where that came from? Because y'all been talking. Oh, I wonder who's.
Well, it's not just RTD, the Doctor Who media.
Yeah, but Russell T Davies was still at the pop by saying, but the Ranis are actually just one person, so there's another part of this trinity. Mm-hmm. Who could it be? And we don't actually know. I mean, it could be the person they're seeking.
Yes.
But actually, and there was no trailer for this episode, and thank God.
They dropped one after the fact.
But then BBC dropped one, like a 20-second teaser trailer, which I saw and was spoiled for. It's not like, I can just turn off the next time before it plays, because I'm expecting it. This was literally like, I'm just about to watch a program on BBC. What do you mean Doctor Who's got a trailer?
Well, then there's also a minute long what to expect thing that spoiled the fact that it was going to be John Smith and Belinda. They had
I didn't read that.
They had Poppy as a kid. Everything, like every major bit, like unit was also.
Why would you do that?
Whenever I told you there was 12 things spoiled and what to expect, I wasn't exaggerating. Almost every single plot point from this episode. Sans, the opposite of Alpha.
No, they said that.
No. Sans.
Oh, Sans. Sorry. I heard Sons. I was like, what?
Sans.
Yeah, I thought they were referencing the seventh son thing.
No.
Yeah, the opposite of Alpha.
They spoiled everything else, though.
Amazing. And Conrad doesn't do a right lot other than tell stories and then taunt the Doctor at the end. And we find out, this is his world. But the Ranis are a whole other matter.
Oh, God.
Archie Panjabi eats and leaves no crumbs behind.
Which, that's the assignment when you're playing the Rani. Because
she absolutely does Kate O'Mara justice here.
That's what Kate O'Mara did.
And she's got the best Sonic. It's a syringe.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's a syringe with a deadly nightshade as the crystal. But they went even further. They got hold of a costume that Kate O'Mara wore in, I think it was Time in the Rani. The red jumpsuit.
Yeah, that's Time of the Rani.
They incorporate that pattern into the handle of the Sonic syringe.
Oh my God. I fucking love the dynamic. It's a very brief thing, but the dynamic that Punjabi Rani and Mrs. Flood Rani have. Just this disdain. Technically, I was birthed from you. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever.
Yeah, that's so good. You did spring from my loins. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Oh God.
But it's funny because they actually get on really well off the set.
Oh yeah.
They didn't know each other before they filmed this, but now they're really good friends. Or they give that impression anyway. They give that impression. And Izzy Dobson doesn't get a huge amount to do, but what she does get to do, she absolutely kills. But Archie Panjabi was just born to play this role.
Oh yeah,
she was, and the whole. I mean, I will get to the 10 minutes of exposition at the end because I have a problem with that. But
by the way, very important thing has happened in the world of Doctor Who. Everybody,
oh boy,
just get out your fireworks and your party poppers.
Go ahead.
Dimensions in Time is canon.
Yeah, it is, and it's in 4K.
And they had to pay a whole lot of money to children in need to do this.
That means that EastEnders is now canon in the world of Doctor Who. God damn it!
Wasn't Nia Dobson like a main character in
Yes.
EastEnders?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! So Rani's been trapped in London for 40+ years.
No wonder they're going after Ruby.
I mean, I will. Now you brought it up. Now I will say that Rani, I'm going to say the Rani and Mrs. Flood. They're both the Rani, but the Rani and Mrs. Flood. The Rani reminds me here so much of Agatha Harkness from WandaVision.
Again with your Wander vision.
But it's true.
Oh,
particularly when she was flying around on an e-scooter.
Oh, Catherine.
Whatever it takes to stop those meddling teenagers and their giant robot.
Yeah, I know.
How many Rita Repulsa references can you make to the show?
But it's accurate. She was very Rita in this. She was like a Harkness. She was like Rita Repulsa. She was kind of like the Missy.
Oh,
Missy. The character wasn't kind of all over the place, but
Missy, my beloved.
The acting was wonderful from Archie Panjabi.
Beautiful.
I can forgive inconsistencies if we get this, and please let her survive the end of the episode next week.
Please let
we need her back.
Please let Doctor Who survive the end of the episode.
We need her back to have an episode with the Master.
Next week might be the last episode of Doctor Who because
it won't be. It will be
this is even worse because now the Sun and all those others are saying that Gatwa got fired when there's no official...
they didn't learn a lesson from Billy Gibson when she wasn't fired and he's not been fired and
all this would be would not be as bad if the BBC and Disney would be like, yeah, no, the show's doing great. It's been top 10 trending every week on Disney Plus. Why?
Yeah, they keep fueling the rumors by not commenting.
Yeah.
What's actually going to happen, I believe, is that Series 3 will air in 2027.
It'll be late 2026. Probably.
And then that spin-off that we shall not mention because I don't want to give Frezno a connection fit.
It's
2026.
It's going to be that spin-off is happening at the end of this year.
Really?
Yeah. You're acting this way, but it's going to be a perfectly fine show. Calm down. Anyway,
it's just a show, Frezno. You should really just relax.
We'll send you cheesy, but wait, shit.
What I think is going to happen is it's going to, they're saying that there's going to be a regeneration scene, but because Gatwa hasn't announced that he's leaving, which every doctor has announced that they were leaving a year before they left.
Yeah.
Except for Eccleston, but they announced Eccleston was leaving very quickly within Series 1. So
alternatively, he does regenerate, and we see who it is, and they managed to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, but they still announce that he's regenerating. They always announce that.
Well, what if they don't this time? What if they want to surprise the audience?
Well, the thing is, it's also a ratings grab.
True, but what if he also becomes Joe Martin?
Rani. Wow.
Whoa.
Right. If the show's really dying because of poor ratings, that's where I was combining rain and ratings. They will do anything it takes to get the ratings up.
I don't want him to go, but if he has to go, I want
he's not going.
Well, we'll find out.
He's not going.
But have you considered that people who don't like the show on the internet are correct?
I will say right now, okay?
He's not going. He would have announced he was going. They would have announced if it was really because the show was woke, it would have announced some old white man.
If this upsets some people that listen to this, I apologize. It's not intended to upset you, but I have to say this. reading the comments on the Doctor Who official Twitter account, because I have to for this show, has been an absolute torture at times this year.
Jesus, why would you do that to yourself?
Because I have to see it for this show.
No, you don't.
Right. There's other places you can get the social media for Doctor Who. You go to Blue Sky, it's been pretty pleasant on Blue Sky.
Although the truth
is... You go to the place where the neo-Nazis live, where the neo-Nazis are feeling called out by this show, you're going to get the venom from them.
The sad truth is that social media in general, I'm kind of souring on.
Yeah, but I mean, that's true. But also,
Just
you're on one of the worst ones.
There's a Doctor Who topic on Blue Sky.
I know there is, but even there's some negativity that's not great.
Wow, where did all these cacti come from?
Oh my goodness. No, the show, if there was actual issues with the show, they would have addressed them. They would have explained that Gatwa was leaving the show to, do more Hollywood things. And if it was because of the last few Doctors being woke, gay, and white, they would have announced that Timothy Chalamet or some other white dude was going to be the Doctor. And they would have touted this episode up as Gatwa's final adventure. They would have made it a thing where it would get ratings. They would have said David Tennant was going to show up for 5 minutes.
All right,
they would have done everything in his power to get the ratings up. If that was the true reason shit was going down. But no, it is still a top 25 to 30 show on British airwaves every week. It is a top 5 grossing show on Disney Plus. It is hitting the right demographic there, trying to hit the 18 to 30s demographic. That's where it is the number one show above most other shows. It is doing just fine, and naysayers have just been being a fan of the show and trying to interact just toxic.
Yeah. I'm just saying, though, just because that's how it's always been doesn't mean it has to be in the future. But you're probably right. You are probably right. But if he has to regenerate...
No. He won't regenerate. He will die for good. And then David Tennant will come out of retirement and be the Doctor once again.
If he has... I'm ignoring all that. And if he has to regenerate, then I would like it if we got a surprise.
What I'm thinking is because Russell T. Davies has done this before. It's going to be a fake-out regeneration. And he's going to regenerate to himself just to piss off the fans, because R2D at this point in time has been making a pointed commentary on the type of fans he does not want watching this show. So if Gatwa is legitimately regenerating, the 16th Doctor will also be Nishuri Gatwa.
That would be kind of incredible.
And then he'll smile on the camera. There's going to cut to a title card that says Doctor Who will return. Disney will put out a press conference that they renewed for 3 more years, and we'll go and move on.
That would be incredible, but we shall see. Where are we up to? Yeah, so the Doctor gets arrested by the Doubt Police, then Belinda gets arrested to join him. As Frezno said, peak leopards eating faces. And then the one thing I have a problem with here. The last 10 minutes are nearly all exposition.
Which, to be fair, the Rani lampshades.
Yes, but she even says exposition time.
No, she's like, oh, I'm not just saying this for exposition, Doctor. I'm saying it because it's part of my plan.
Yes, that's right.
She's trying to distract him for a little bit longer. And she's dragging him around, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm not letting you do anything.
By the way,
because you'll stop me. I'm trapping you outside because you'll stop me.
She's actually very intelligent.
Yes.
She's doing everything she can to stop this plan from being unraveled.
Also, if I had a nickel for every time an evil Time Lord randomly pulled out a disco ball.
I had so much dread.
Yeah, I for a second I thought if they play Rasputin, I'm out. But they didn't.
Thank God it's just. But that.
You do realize there'll be a meme now of the Rani dancing to Dugga Doo, by the way.
But what I love is when they're dancing. She's like, "Remember when we danced while the city of I forget the name of it. But while the city burned, we danced." They thought we were lovers.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Were they, or was she just saying this to trigger his doubts?
I don't fucking know.
You could easily say that a lot of this was just this messing with his head. So he has his crisis and says, I am the doctor, and that's the doubts. And, clock hits 12, we win.
So there's been a critique of this episode, and it's the kind of critique that I hate. It's a pet peeve critique of mine, the narrative contrivance of why didn't they just do the thing that would end the story instantly?
Oh, I've got to read for that, but go on.
Yeah. The basic idea is, the Rani's whole plan is, I'm going to make Doctor Who doubt this world. And she waits until like the last second to have him arrested, and probably said, hey, Doctor, this world doesn't make sense. Doubt it. You better start doubting it. And so the people are like, why didn't she just arrest him from the first minute and do her evil scheme to break the world in half? Why did she wait? Oh.
Because she needed him to start doubting first, and then she could bring him in to finish it off.
No, and it's also like half implied early on they haven't found him yet.
Yeah, yes, another I think that's why they were bringing the doubters. Like, one of these has got to be the doctor, right?
Yeah.
Again, we could have done with more time on this to show that.
And there's another critique to be had of the episode, and I'm a little sympathetic to it. Is the doctor is not very proactive this episode. He has his doubts, but he isn't like, this world's fake, I'm going to stop it. He gets arrested, and then the villain is like, hey, doctor, this world's fake, start doubting it. Which, if you want to be extremely fucking uncharitable, the last time we had a passive proactive doctor who the baddie Time Lord caught and was basically like, and now I will exposit to you, doctor, was Timeless Children.
This is better than that.
What was the thing you guys talk about with classic Doctor Who? How do you make the story that the doctor shows up and solves everything in 5 minutes more believable?
I just gotta eat.
Yeah. And then that comes to my rant about this episode. It's a decent episode, but I think if RTD does another Disney season and they're doing this setup again for a 2-part
give us 12 episodes of series, please.
Or us as the Who Reviews podcast, wait until both parts of the finale's out before doing it. Because we don't.
But then we'll be doing it for 4 hours, and that's not right.
No.
Oh yeah, the 4 hours.
Did you during any other Classic Who podcast? Do you go? So here's our thoughts for Terror of the Zygons episode 1, part 1.
No, because they're classic serials.
Yeah, because it's all out at one point.
But I'm trying. If you guys let me get to my point.
Go ahead, please.
This is basically like a serial. We have watched part 1 of a 2-part serial where, like, we can't get the full thoughts of this episode until we get the finale next week.
But Kuchiri, it's fun to speculate.
It's fun to speculate, but again, we don't go back and we don't have individual episodes on every single part of Trial of the Time Lord by themselves.
Well, yeah, because they all already exist in the past.
Exactly.
Currently airing Doctor Who. I understand where you're coming from, but this is currently airing Doctor Who. So
this has always been the way we do it. A week at a time. But while the 10 minutes exposition, I will say right now, this felt like an episode with an identity crisis. But that's kind of also the point. Like, we have 13 minutes of Conrad's Hell World, and then 15 minutes of here's the actual plot.
Here's the big lore dump and shit.
Here's the lore dump leading into the finale. And I just feel like if we'd had, I don't know, a full episode of the Hell World and then go into the lore dump and then a 2-part finale, that would have been even better. But again, we have 8 episodes to fill. We need 12 RTD for Series 3. We need at least 12. Let it cook. Let the show cook. And while you're at it, start hiring younger writers again. That does kind of annoy me that you say, we're not going to hire younger writers. Why not? Why not get some fresh voices in there? You did with Juno Dawson and Ellams and I forget the name of the lady that co-wrote The Well. I apologize, but with her. But the Ronnie's big plan is, this was a great line. The doubts are not the problem. The doubts are the point.
There's some nice social commentary going on.
It's
here.
next level in this.
Fucking conservative strong boys like Conrad Clark. They're just as fragile and weak as this fucking hell world where one single doubt can just crumble it like a fucking house of cards.
Well, it's not even just that. That's what conservative commentators try to get you to do. That's why, trans people sort of vilified because they throw doubts that, this marginalized group can be trusted. They try to throw doubts that, maybe Ukraine are the bad guys while they're being invaded and killed. I mean, it's literally the power of a conservative commentator is doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, I love there was a podcast that Pete Buttigieg was on 2 or 3 weeks ago where he literally, like every time one of the conservative commentators brought up a doubt, he completely squashed it and just, it was fun. It was clear that the conservative commentator was like, oh, hey, yeah, no, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Pete Buttigieg is the Rani.
Oh, God.
Anyway, I do like the cups thing. The whole cups going through the table because there's doubt around them.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Honestly, tables don't work like that. Obviously, nobody got a table from IKEA.
The really wonderful thing, good cute little detail is at the beginning when the doctor sees Mel and she's like, "Oh, I'm not married and I don't have children, so I just sit in quiet, thankful contemplation." And you see her fucking garbage pail and it's full of crack mugs.
Yeah, so she's been doubting.
She's been hella doubting.
Also, the bins all had the word "slip" printed on them. I don't know if that got caught in the episode, but the orange bins that are like outside every house, that's just to clear up the cups where they shatter.
Yeah.
They call it a slip, but it's actually a doubt.
A slip in, the carefully constructed narrative of this world.
That's exactly it, yeah.
And clearly they buy ceramic cups, like regular cups, because they go through so many. Because, when the doctor had to replace the one early on in the episode, the cupboard would have like another 30 of them.
When Poppy breaks one with the word no.
Oops.
Yeah, and also the fact, again, I love Archie Punjabi's acting throughout all this, but she really revels in this year because you have doubts, and the fact that Belinda figures out is like I knew you were clever.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Should we drop the lore, Rain?
Yeah, here we go. So the whole point is that this wish world is fragile and just ready to crack at the seams, basically.
And if
any
Time
moment.
Lord doubts it, it'll crack a hole in reality or some shit.
Yeah,
so under reality.
The underverse.
And also, she's prime. It's the season arc. It's kind of the same with Sutek again, where everywhere they've been priming reality to crack in half, thanks to that Vindicator.
Yeah, the fact that the Doctor actually had a part to play in this without even realizing it.
Again, it's same as seeding all the Susan twists.
The Doctor actually gets himself into the trap.
Yeah.
Unwittingly. That's clever.
Yeah, and down there is the one who is lost. Oh my God, kids! Omega's coming back.
Or are they?
Or are they? I don't fucking
because
know.
I will admit right now, when I first watched this, and there's a Blue Sky post to this effect, I screamed several expletives when Omega's name was mentioned.
What the fucking fuck or not?
Kind of. But I misheard.
What did you hear?
Because I thought the Doctor said to her, "Who are you working for?" And she said, "Omega." But he doesn't say that.
What does he say?
Who are you looking for?
Ah, yes.
So it's possible that Omega will actually not make an appearance next week.
Yeah, no. The Rani gets stopped, Omega stays trapped. Kind of like a Rassilon in End of Time.
It could be that. It could be that Omega is dead and she wants his corpse.
Which we haven't covered the
science.
We haven't covered the last time that Omega has been seen.
We've done the Three Doctors, but not that story.
Not that fucking story.
I'm not revealing who the guest is, but if Omega does show up in person next week, that guest is locked out.
No shit. Christ.
I mean, they could easily do the three doctors. Get back Joe Martin, David Tennant's out there somewhere. Gatwa.
It could even be that, because what if the Trinity is actually the three doctors?
Oh, fucking God.
What if Russell T. Davies has been lying to us the entire time again?
What? Russell T.
Oh, God, the
Davis
Holy
lying to
Trinity.
us? What?
The Holy Trinity cancels the unholy Trinity. Oh my God, if that actually happens.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. RT.
Well, we haven't pointed out that the baby's a god. Have we got?
Oh yeah, Desiderium, the baby's a god.
God of wishes with a wonderful line about wishing for a world of milk.
Yeah, you can't just have a child, otherwise the world will be drowning in breast milk. So that's what she has Conrad for. Conrad channels his thoughts into the baby, and the baby sustains the world. That and the Rani's technology. And the Bone Palace is a fixed point in time, so they're safe in that. But poor Belinda's not safe because the Rani has her ejected from the palace, and she disappears. But again, I think she'll be back in the next episode.
Yeah, she'll be back. For sure.
Whether it's that Belinda or, I don't know, Prime Universe Belinda, I don't know. But I don't know with a lot of this.
I mean, I hope that, like I said, I hope Ruby and Shirley are instrumental in stopping Conrad. You know, leave the doctor.
Well, in this universe, they're kind of dead.
Did they?
They were crushed to death.
Well, we didn't see it happen. So
we saw the building fall on top of them. They were crushed to death.
We didn't see it happen. We didn't see a body.
Oh, okay. It's possible that maybe parts of this wish world bleed into the real world, and I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
That's for next week.
Yeah.
But this is an absolutely crazy cliffhanger. So the world's collapsing. The Doctor falls to his death because the Rani can't take the chance he'll try to stop her. Belinda's gone. Poppy is being hugged by her grandmother. Ruby and Shirley were crushed to death. Where the hell do we go from here?
Who knows?
Well, I mean,
66 minutes.
Well, the doctor is also yelling that Poppy's real and Poppy's his daughter. So you know what that means?
Yeah, we already covered that.
We're explaining Susan finally.
I mean, we know that Poppy is real because we saw her in Space Babies. But the Doctor says that she's really his daughter. But in that episode, he said that he wasn't her father. And so he can't be her father, but he is. And oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. There you go.
It could be that. I kind of hope it isn't. But if it turns out Poppy and Desiderium cause Susan to be born.
There you go.
Am I even saying that right? Is it Desiderium?
I don't know.
It's Desire, isn't it? It's like the Latin version of Desire. Because the Rani names the baby. It's like, that's a stupid name for a baby. Well, it's not exactly. It's not your concern because I'm taking the baby. And then turns the family into ducks, an owl, and violets.
Oh, hey, Exposition 33 mentioned.
What?
Also,
how much do you know about Exposition 33?
Not a lot.
All I know is that we've been calling it Legend of Dragoon too.
The main villain every year kills everyone of a certain age group by turning them to flower petals.
Oh.
So now it's Expedition 33. Everyone who was 33 years or older got turned to flower petals. So the group that's 32 goes out to try and kill the...
Oh,
okay.
Then you find out about other expeditions before that because it's been counting down from 100.
Yeah. So it's also a bit like the 100. Okay. But yeah, next time. Oh no, sorry. Overall thoughts. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Wow.
What did we think about? Well, you stuck with the what? What did we think about Wish World? And who would like to go first?
I mean, I've already kind of went first. I really can't give a full opinion on this until I see the other half.
Fair.
I understand that. I I feel sort of the same way in that, part of this is obviously set up for reality war, but the parts that remain that did intrigue me, the thickness of this fucking alternate reality and the way that it's much like the rest of RTD2, it's got that political edge to it where it's like, look at what these fuckers believe. This is the world they want. Isn't it fucked up? That interested me. That intrigued me. That kept me engaged into what could have been a 45-minute trailer for the reality war, but I give it a tentative pass of sorts. It interested me. I enjoyed watching it. I liked seeing this fucked up world. And I hope that shithead Conrad Clark gets his next week. Bring on the Omega.
I mean, he's going to find himself in a prison cell on some other planet. That's how it's going to work.
He'll probably get killed.
I'm calling it now, Jadoon cameo.
Yeah. Well, no. The doctor tells him how he's going to die. We're not going to change his death.
No, I don't mean that. He says you die in a prison cell. I never said which prison cell. And here's the Jadoon to take you to your intergalactic prison, Conrad. Bye.
Yeah. Whatever.
Throwback to End of the Timeless Children.
So, Rain, which world?
Yeah, so I like this. I think it's a better setup for the finale than Legend of Ruby Sunday was, although that was a good setup, and then it just did not stick the landing at all. A lot would depend on Reality War. If Reality War is bad, this would be dragged down by it. If Reality War is good, this will come down as one of the best series we have in quite some time.
Empire of Death was good, actually.
With no duds. If Reality War, sticks to the landing, it's supposed to do finale, and he really does that. So I'm a little bit nervous.
We have 66 minutes. It has to stick.
Well, this needs to be an hour long because the identity crisis. We need a little more time building the whole conservative hell world, only to have it then pushed aside for law. I think 5 or 10 more minutes of that and a bit more of the explanation of what was going on would have made this even better. We didn't do that. We went with the 45-minute runtime. 66 minutes next week. Bring it on, and let's see what happens. And I hope we actually see Omega. It's not just Psyche's not here.
No, he's going to get. It's going to be one of those things where he gets stopped and we never see him. It's going to be Omega is going to be. They're going to do something where Omega is now somewhat woken up and like he's going to be a villain later on, but because he got tapped, his little glass cancer got tapped, so he's going to show up later on, but I don't think we're going to see him. And
also the actor that played him is now dead, sadly.
Well, the voice line that they used was from
Big Finish, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So them using the audio line from Big Finish tells me that they are not using like an actual actor for this.
Yeah, quite possibly. If he does show up, he'll be a CGI monstrosity.
Oh, God.
Oh, and another thing, before I forget, We Happy Few. The Wish World was definitely had vibes of We Happy Few.
I guess.
Well, I mean, Happy Morning is basically joy from that game. And the bowler hats. The bowler hats and, everyone being prim and proper. It's very much like We Happy Few. And also 1984.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think by itself, it was pretty good. Very dependent on what happens next week. And speaking of that, next week, the Reality War.
Oh, God.
Marvel Studios has entered the chat.
Oh, Jesus. Don't threaten me with a bad time here.
Oh, come on. Some of their earlier films were good.
I mean, apparently their most recent film's really good.
Oh, the one with a different title?
Yeah.
Which we're not going to talk about, but the one that changed the title? Yes. There just seems there's so much cover that I can't help but feel that something's going to get left behind because we've got Susan, Poppy, the Doctor falling to his death, the Bone Beast, the Underverse, Omega, the two Ranis, Conrad, Belinda, Unit.
Well, let's back up.
Ruby.
Let's back it up. Susan's probably going to be a next year issue.
Well,
or next season issue. Rogue is going to be a next season issue.
I didn't mention Rogue.
Omega is probably not going to show up because the Doctor is going to stop the Rani. Rani is still the final boss.
I was about to say, so what is going to be in this episode?
I mean, I kind of hope in a way that that's right, because the Rogue deserves to be the final boss. She's terrific.
Yeah.
I think they'll kill off Mrs. Flood.
Of course.
But I think that they might use that to give Archie Panjabi a chance to come back in the future.
Yeah.
Because she can regenerate, but also Mrs. Flood can't. And also we get to see what happens when a Biogenerator Time Lord actually dies again. Is that it for good this time, or did they regenerate again?
There is a theory that they're doing this to, like the Time Lord biology is doing this now because it's to repopulate.
Possible.
That has been a theory that's been going out there.
Another rumor is that the toy maker's not actually gone,
Oh, the toy maker was locked in a fucking box. Remember?
but his influence seems to remain because Biogenerations is still happening. Oh, when the baby giggled like that, by the way, I took a step back.
Jesus.
He just giggles all day.
Isn't this baby cute? Oh, burn it with fire!
Yeah.
Jesus.
Basically. We've seen Ted being a member of the Pantheon. Did he ever have that laugh? I don't think he did.
No. He had a harbinger, but I don't think.
Oh, that's a point. Who is Dissiderium's harbinger? Is it the Rani?
Maybe.
The horse. The pissing horse.
The pissing horse, yeah, exactly. Because Lux's harbinger was just the theatre.
Yes.
It was the entire theatre. That was confirmed. Sutek had several harbingers. He created more, didn't he, with Susan Twist and
Susan
and Mel.
Twist wasn't a harbinger. It was Harriet.
Harriet Harbinger.
Yeah, no, that was the only harbinger.
Next week in the Reality War, you introduced a new employee, Sue Pervillain. And it's just Archie Panjabi as a tea lady. Oh my god. I swear that's how she gets away in the finale.
You know what Doctor Who's missing that they haven't had in so long?
What?
Terrible disguises for the villains. That's what we're missing. That is what's going to bring back all.
We kind of had that with Mrs. Flood, but they weren't terrible disguises. They were just disguises.
No. Like straight up, David Ansley, Master, and
Ainley, the French nobleman in the King's Demons.
Yeah. No, that's what's going to bring back all 10 million cable viewers, even though the most watched cable show in the UK right now only has 3 million viewers.
So, Rain, did we ever do Time Flight on this show?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Guess what we're never doing?
Oh, thank God.
I mean, we might eventually, but if I gave Kat a veto for certain episodes, you get a veto for certain episodes, and that's one of them.
Hey, Rain, do you know what we're doing?
The Reality War.
Telling us where you can find these lovely people.
Yes, exactly. You can find us on Blue Sky in the links below. Books-wise, please buy Back to the Vow by Leda Fenrir McTeer, who was on the show last week.
Hey.
When we did the Interstellar Song Contest. Volumes 1, 2, and soon to be 3, hopefully. Please buy Tower for the Trees by Sean Dillon, who was a guest for Lux earlier this year. And please buy Shadow of the Garframe Volume 1 by a whole bunch of talented writers, including Lena and Sean and Freezing Inferno.
Hey.
Oh, but they're not in the book by that name.
No.
But they're in there. They're in there.
I'm in there somewhere, and you've seen it.
I have. I've reviewed it.
Yes.
I reviewed your stories.
And thank you for it.
Twitch.tv in the links below. Do either of you have anything to... Well, I know Frezno does with Mega May.
Oh, yeah. Mega May is going to conclude... it's probably the day this goes up. Monday. If Rain is fast about it. If not, well, it's...
Well, we called it once before, so... Kuchiri, what game is he playing this week?
I don't know. He was saying it was going to be a good note, so probably just going to be X5, and that's his excuse for not doing any of the others.
And Frezno says,
do I have to say if you got it right or not?
I was expecting no comment,
I mean,
which means that you didn't get it right.
It's certainly not going to be X6. That's for fucking sure.
No, it's certainly not going to be at 6.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I guess we can say goodnight, Rain. Unless
Hang on, Kuchiri, you don't even to plug.
Well, I mean, did a video with Frezno, got to work on 50th episode of the Conrad podcast we did yesterday. There was 2.5 people on it for the episode.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm still.
You're
a little salty.
Life happens. Life happens.
A little sodium chloride going on. It's all good.
It's okay, Kuchiri. Just have visions in eyes of blue.
Yeah, no.
Whenever
I upload that one video I did with Frez. Reminder: we are not professional Yu-Gi-Oh players, nor do we claim to be.
No,
I definitely do not.
We are not.
Yeah, we are not. We are not. Oh,
that whole thing was embarrassing.
It is an interesting segment of a video, but
no, I definitely did not want to. I don't want to edit it. I really don't.
I don't know how you can edit around it.
I played Duel Links and somehow got to the second round of a tournament.
So when are we gonna get Rain on Mirror Match?
I thought
it was just going to be you and I if we ever do keep on keeping on.
Oh yeah, well we can keep going with that. I don't know.
Well, anyway, we definitely need someone to curate our packs.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't have enough free time as it is, guys. You're not going to get me on that.
we just want to play card games with you, Rain.
You just want to talk with me. You just want to talk with me. You just want to play card games with me.
I just want to shoot you. What? Anyway, is that all from you, Kuchiri?
Yeah, I mean, I might do some more Kimco reviews. They sent me a couple games. One of them's interesting. I might do it. And if I do the other one, it is definitely going to be like a 5-hour rant. Probably not 5 hours. Probably like 5 minutes.
It's yeah. Kimco.
I mean, Kimco has given me some really good games. But then it's like, here's a game from 13 years ago. We were porting from the cell phones without making any changes.
Yeah.
At all. Not even to the UI. So the UI looks like shit.
Gotta love it. So, Rain, why don't you say goodnight?
I'm sorry, I was distracted because we might be getting a visitor coming in, but
Lloyd,
yes,
steal the cat.
That's the
Steal
visitor.
the cat.
He has been stolen because it's pissing it down with rain outside.
It's pissing like a horse.
Yeah, like a horse. But good night, Raniac. And we'll see you next time for the Reality War with a special guest, and hopefully Kat will be back for the finale. And goodness knows what's going to happen. Screaming internally and externally, probably. And we'll see you next time for that. Until then, bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Good night.